Hey guys, Parallel here, and welcome to Vindictus. In this video, I'm going to be checking out the Fiona Revamp, and in particular, I am going to be looking at the changes to the hammer skills. And if you are interested in all the changes that happen to her sword abilities, I will include a link in the description to a video that I did on that subject. So you can check that out if you're interested to see the changes to sword. In this video, I'll be focusing on hammer. Now, the Fiona Revamp patch is actually a few months old now, but I am having a lot of fun with the changes to her. I've been mostly playing my Eevee recently, since she also had a revamp, and I've been focusing more on that character. But I did want to get back and check out the changes to Fiona. And I really did enjoy the sword changes. I liked a lot of what they did with that skill set. So now I will be checking out what they did to hammer. And just as a quick disclaimer, I am very inexperienced with hammer. When I used to play Fiona a long time ago when I was playing Vindictus, I almost exclusively used sword. So I have very little experience with hammer. So I'll be kind of learning myself as we're doing this. So yeah, just be aware of that. Yeah, my skills with hammer are just not that great. But I did get a chance to practice a little bit with the changes, and yeah. So to be demoing this, I will be doing it in. I'll take on Shining Shakarr in the Fomorian Leader mission. This seems to be a good, yeah, I'll just do normal. Yeah, I'll just do normal for the purposes of this video, but this seems to be a pretty good mission for testing out new abilities and learning a character, just because Shakarr's moves are at least reasonably telegraphed and predictable, and it makes it easier to actually test out your character against an enemy that you already know pretty well, and makes it, more I guess streamlined if you want to learn some new abilities. So that is the mission I will be going into. And yes, Vindictus has been lagging quite a bit lately. So if you see a jump cut or anything, it's probably because I was disconnected. Particularly when I start a boat, I've been getting a lot of disconnects. All right, so let's get into what are the skill changes here. All right, so let's bring up our skills. And just so you know, I'm only using a +5 God Hammer for this. This is a level 70 weapon. It's only got 9 attack speed. It's not obviously a very, very particularly powerful weapon. So it's the only hammer I could afford on short notice. When I get to level 80, I would like to, of course, upgrade that. But, this serves my purpose for now, for just learning the hammer weapon. All right, so I will go down my skills here. As you can see what I have ranked up. Again, I don't use hammer that much, so I don't have everything maxed out. But I will go over what I feel is kind of the minimum you need to be effective in hammer with the skill changes, or at least what I have found to be effective with, with my little experience that I have with it so far. All right. Well, the first big change to hammer, well, in Fiona in general, even in the sword video I discussed this, but the biggest change here is this new skill, Shield Deflection. And basically what this is it gives you a short invulnerability frame, and you can do it while you're in the midst of your attack combo. So it's a neat skill that kind of adds to the fluidity of Fiona, because it allows you to, instead of having to stop your combo to do a guard, you can instead use Shield Deflection and continue your combo afterwards. And in fact, if I mouse over it here, if you continue your combo afterward, your next smash attack will get even a buff to the damage if you did a successful Shield Deflection. The one thing about Shield Deflection is it does take a lot of getting used to. I practiced it a bit with my sword. I'm starting to get a little bit better at it. I'm definitely not mastered it yet. but it does have a very short iframe, which is kind of the downside of the ability. So you have to really know exactly when the boss abilities are going to be, when the damage is done during the animation, so you can immediately deflect it at the right time, get off your successful deflection, and then continue with your combo. So the deflection basically looks like this. There's the animation. Now, if you don't have a successful deflection, there's a long animation lock afterwards. If you have a successful deflection, there's no animation lock. One thing you can do is if you do a deflection, you can animation cancel into a guard. So if you feel you didn't make your deflection and you don't want to take damage, you can cancel into a guard. But then if you cancel into the guard, of course you can't continue your combo anymore. But at least you can, maybe get off a perfect guard and continue that way, or do a shield counter. So it is shield deflection, and from my experience, it's a lot more important for hammer than it was for sword. I mean, for sword, it's nice for continuing your long combo if you want to get a amaranth kick off. It does help for that. But for hammer, you definitely will need to get very, very good at shield deflection, which like I said, I haven't quite mastered it yet. So my effectiveness with hammer is not as good as my sword. All right, the other new skill that Fiona got was Iron Defense, which I unfortunately will not be able to show to you because it requires a large shield, which I actually don't have. But it is a nice buff that it only requires 500 SP. How long does it last? Well, the effect. No. Perfect guard on cooldown. Not quite sure how long it lasts. But I know the cooldown can be decreased. Yeah, it decreases the cooldown as you rank it up. Yep, and if you do a perfect guard while you have it up, it will decrease the cooldown as well. I don't know if you can keep this up permanent. I'm not quite sure the duration on it. It might be like maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds around there. So it is a nice ability just for the huge amount of damage mitigation it does. But again, it does take 500 SP. It's, I don't know, probably be really hard to keep up with if you want to keep slashing high going. So kind of situational, I think. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of her changes. One other change that they mentioned here, I do have the patch notes up here as I'll go kind of through them, that you no longer need shield repair because shields can no longer be damaged, so you don't need to ever repair them during a fight. Nice little change, kind of a quality of life thing, so you never have to use the shield repair ability, which you can see they took it away. It's no longer here, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about your shield breaking. So let's see, what are the other changes here for hammer that particularly affect hammer? A lot of these changes were for sword. One other change they did make was to taunt. This is a nice ability now. It actually works as a taunt. When you activate this, it will attract the boss to you, which is good for a Fiona. You definitely want the boss on you so you can use your deflection and your guard to increase your damage. So it can have its use for sure. Again, it might just be hard to keep it up. It's only 250 SP, so it's not too bad. But still might be hard to keep up if you are trying to keep up slashing high. And slashing high is pretty critical for hammer. Even more so than sword, I think. All right, so what else? They did change quite a bit with hammer. Now, the first thing is the 1 to 4 normal attacks, Crushing Swing and Beetle Crusher had all of their attack speed increased. So just in general, Beetle Crusher, your normal non-smash attacks were all sped up. That's pretty important because hammer was kind of slow, and the general speed up is very nice. It also says Crushing Swing was sped up a bit too, which is good. Crushing Swing and Beetle Crusher I kind of use mostly as just kind of clearing fodder. Right, so there's that. So now the next one is Butterfly Swing. Now this, I guess in my opinion, seems to be the most important ability for hammer, since it it's kind of your main smash for, for doing damage to bosses, and it's something you can keep up for a long time. You can keep this smash going for a long time, almost like a spin to win, and it's just a major portion of your damage. So in this case, I do have it maxed out to rank 6. And let's see here, just from the patch notes, not slashing high. Oh, okay. It says slashing high fading will no longer interrupt your butterfly swing combo, which is kind of a nice thing. Apparently, in the old days, if you had your slashing high going and you had your butterfly swing combo going, if it faded out, then it would interrupt. But now you can just keep your butterfly swing going. It will just, once slashing high wears off, it'll start using stamina again. Okay, so those were the main changes there. Anything else? Blossom Blow. Oh, no, wait, that's a sword change, sorry. And anything else here for Hammer? Now, one thing they did do is they gave Hammer, this was actually more recent than the Fiona Revamp. This change came in the more recent patch. This is, they did give her Hammer a ultimate ability. You can see there in the animation kind of what it does. This is more like a true ultimate that, requires 1000 SP, and requires 1000 SP, holds the boss for a while. It's pretty situational. For Hammer Fiona, I generally don't use it unless I'm like in a raid or something and I want to hold the boss and let, the rest of the raid hammer on the boss while he's held. That's pretty much the only time to use it. If you're soloing, I don't really see too much of a need for it. You'd be better off using your SP to keep your slashing high going and keeping your butterfly swings going. So that's kind of the main thing. So, from my experience with Hammer, butterfly swing seems to be your best damaging ability, which is your three normal attacks and then your smash. And you can keep it going here for a long time until you run out of stamina, which is kind of the key thing. So this really combines well with slashing high, since slashing high makes it so you're not using any stamina while it's active. You can basically keep it going forever. Plus, slashing high gives you that bit of a speed up as well. Now, one other thing is, while slashing high is going, I don't know if it actually says it in the combo here. Yeah, when slashing high is in effect, Hammer combo attack. So you can do, after you do your, after you do 2 butterfly swings, I believe it is, then you could do left click, right click, and then right click again and hold down, and it will go right into your Stigma Hammer. And the Stigma Hammer charges up way faster when you do it this way. It's kind of a long combo to get off, because it's basically, you have to get your butterfly, do 2 butterflies, then do a left click, right click, and then hold the right click to charge up a Stigma Hammer. It's kind of a long combo to get off, and that's basically why you want to use your deflection during that combo. That's when you get your your big damage out of it. If you can, if you're going to take an incoming hit, if you can deflect it and then keep your combo going, that's when you'll get huge damage out of, especially out of your Stigma Hammer, which you can, by the way, do your deflection during the Stigma Hammer and then continue it afterwards, and you won't lose your charge up. So that's kind of how you want to play. You want to, use butterfly swing as much as you can. Keep up your slashing high as much as you can. By the way, shield charge. One of the other changes, I guess I should mention here. This was more. I talked about this in the sword video too, but for here, shield charge now only costs 75 SP, and it only costs 75 SP, and it will activate slashing high. So it's like if your shield charge is up, you might as well use that to do a little bit of extra damage, and then your slashing high will already be on, and then you can start going into your hammer combos. All right. I think that covers most of the changes as far as the hammer abilities. So let's go ahead and get into the match. And I will try to show some of the things in action. In particular, I want to try to show the shield deflection. Show the shield deflection during the butterfly swing combo. And I'll try to get off one of the Stigma Hammer combos as well. Butterfly swing into Stigma Hammer, because that does a ton of damage. Alright, let's go. Alright, Shakarr, let's go here. I'm gonna set up my shield charge as my skill. Need some butterfly swing going. So there I had a deflection and I could go right back. And not there. Now one thing I also do want to try to demo if I can is if you do get a perfect block, there you go. If you get a perfect block, oops. If you get a perfect block and then you do one, it'll start you right into your third swing of your combo. So you can go right into butterfly swing again really fast. Let's see if I can do it again here. So I go block, left, right, and see I can go right back into my butterfly swing. So yeah. Well, there, I failed it. Let's do... There we go. So you see? Alright, you're going down here. Oh, I failed it. I was trying to do my big combo there, but didn't quite work. So I'm actually not quite sure if it's better to use shield deflection or just go right back into my butterfly swings. So the one thing with the shield deflection I still haven't mastered yet is multi-hits like that, like when he does his knee kick and then the swing with the hammer. I can't quite figure out how to get a deflection on the second one. Let's go do slashing high. Let's see if I can kill him with my Stigma Hammer combo here. I don't know if I'll be able to. He's too hurt. 1, 2, 3. He's already dead. Let's see if I can do it here without him, just while slashing high is still up. So if you do 1, 2, 3, hammer, hammer, left, right, charge, and boom. There it is. That's the combo I try to get off, like if they're staggered or whatever. That's kind of your maximum damage combo. Although, just continuing butterfly swings seems to also be pretty darn close to the amount of damage. Just keeping your butterfly swings going for a long time does a good chunk of damage by itself. But yeah, that Stigma Hammer combo is pretty much the best. The most damage in, in that amount of time. Just kind of a little bit of harder to pull pull off because of that charge at the end. I mean, it's such a long combo. You're almost always going to have to be able to get off a deflection in the middle of the combo to actually successfully, execute it. All right. Well, that is the changes to Hammer, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really do like how, the attack speed increases really helped Hammer a lot. It feels much more fluid now. The Shield Deflection allows you to keep your butterfly swinging going for, much longer now. And yeah, it's just, it just feels a lot more smooth and fluid. The only trick is that you just have to be really good with your shield deflection timing. It's a very, very short iframe, and you have to learn the boss moves quite well in order to execute it properly. But particularly with Hammer, if you can execute it properly, you can get off some massive, massive damage. You can keep your combos going so long. You can keep slashing high up, almost perma, not quite, but you can at least keep it up on every cooldown. And you can really go to town with Hammer. In particular, I like it better for like sandbag type bosses, which, if you can't get a lot of deflections, then I'd say Hammer is probably your better choice. Because just its regular combo, being able to execute the butterfly swings and chain them together, that's just going to give you a lot more DPS in general than Sword. But, Sword will excel more if you can get a lot of perfect deflections and do a lot of counterattacks, because Sword has the enhanced counterattack. So that's kind of where Sword shines. So I do like Hammer. I mean, I like having the option, for more sandbag type bosses, you can go with Hammer, and more like bosses, that you can get a lot of deflections on, you can go with Sword. So it's a good, they're good complementary weapons. I mean, between the two, you have a good weapon in almost every situation. And now, particularly Hammer with all of the buffs from the revamp, it just really is a solid weapon. Very good top performer. All right, well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's all for now.